Good evening. On behalf of my colleagues, Mr. Leader, Mr. J.P. Mr. Dale, welcome to our high school advance. It's a joy to share music with you tonight. Tonight's project, though, is just a snapshot of what we've been learning in classes. It's a very, very small part of what our students have been studying so far this semester. And while we enjoy performing for you, we're very excited to do so. Our goal is to learn music and grow those opportunities. So our students have done that. It's had a wonderful start to the year, and it's inspiring to see. While 180 students will perform in 5 different groups tonight, we want to especially welcome the students who are performing their first high school band concert tonight. And we hope they enjoy seeing the progression of our students throughout the night. We know that participating in ensemble music through graduation provides positive impacts for students in many ways, including academically, socially, behaviorally. The research is all there, and it helps us prepare them for life beyond high school. We just love making music together as a group. So we're proud to have so many students involved, and we thank you parents for all of you. Back to the music now. So we opened tonight with Climbing Quandary by Robert Sheldon. Robert Sheldon was here and conducted our AD Honors Band just last year. Quandary is one of the 14,000 footers in Colorado. It's a mountain. So it's about that epic climb. And it's often a first mountain that people will climb when they start to capture all of those peaks. All the first two bands that we hear all play British music in some way or another. And a lot of our heritage in the band world comes from British band music. And so this next piece is by Gustav Holst, who wrote The Planets, as you may know, and the first and second suite. And this is a part of those folk song suites and pieces that he did. This is Marching Song.
Good job. 2-2. Keep it up on camera. Eyes for Mr. Wiggins.
Thank you, everyone. This next piece for concert band is titled Fandango. It's the newest piece that we've learned this year. It's obviously a dance type of piece in a Latin style. We're excited about it. It features a lot of percussion instruments, but it features a couple solos as well. So we'll feature a small solo in the middle, featuring Paige on the clarinet and Xavier on the tenor saxophone. So we hope you enjoy Fandango. one more piece for concert band. We've been fortunate to have a student teacher with us from Carnegie Mellon University for the past several weeks. It's been great to have him work with us. He's been a great asset. So he's been working with each of the bands. So we'll introduce him for the first time to Student Dr. Foster today. Please welcome Mr. Liam Dale from Carnegie Mellon University.
So, I am here as a student teacher. I've been here for 7 weeks now. It's been great. We're going to move towards the holiday spirit side of the program now, which is this cool next piece, which is 20 carols in 2 minutes. Okay? So, Mark Williams had this idea to cram as much holiday music into 2 minutes as humanly possible. And we had like a really fun, the first time we looked at this piece, we had a fun name that tune game. So I'm going to test your ears in this next one. See if you can count to all 20. One time I counted it and there were 23. So I don't know what happened. But keep track. See if you can find them. Enjoy.
Leave your paper clips. You're going to stand up together.
totally different pieces and different tonalities and different meters. So it's really like when three works. And then this would be really choosing the last piece for you. This next piece, if you read the title of your program, it sounds exactly like what it says in the way so it's been really, really fun to rehearse in this piece. It's a fabulous piece of music. It's a gallop, which comes from the circus band tradition of things running and chasing and on stage, and it is rubber jumpers.
Good. Play it like you did in the band. Rock it. Here you go. So 1, 2, 1, 2.
composer in what I have recently learned is called educational music, where just by preparing this piece of music, these students are learning so much about everything that has to do with music. From articulations, tempo, dynamics, everything. There's so much detail packed into this 5-minute work that just by preparing it, they are becoming such better musicians every day of work. So I've had a great time preparing this with them, and it's kind of a roller coaster, but it's also beautiful. So please do.
students 9 through 12th grade. We're going to open up our concert with Christmas Time is Here, famous piece by Mr. Walden. Most famous in those who are called around Christmas movie. It was rearranged by Matt Moore, who turned it into a really beautifully orchestrated mallet ensemble with the addition of drum set and some light percussion as well in the back. So we hope you enjoy Christmas Time this year. Originally a French Christmas carol that is rearranged for percussion ensemble. So we have a lot of really cool additions to this piece. We have kind of an active section with the drum set and bass guitar, and we have a lot of cool sections in the percussion as well. Auxiliary instruments, okay? And then we have an ensemble on the side of the ensemble as well that kind of drive through the melodies. So there's a lot of groove elements throughout the piece that you're going to really feel, and then some solo portions as well. So enjoy our final piece, Advent.
the whole intro thing and have you stand right back up. Is that okay? So English folk songs, is that okay? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Then just stay in your seats. You don't have to stand up. I'm just going to go right to the microphone. Pretend we did all that. English folk songs, come on. Just like you did in the band. So good.
Okay, I just did one symphony. I'm not going to go on stage just to come back on again since I'm already here. I love being on stage. I think Mr. Bieber, I know it's my favorite careers, and making music with students. It's the behind the scenes stuff of a concert like this with 5 groups, 180 some kids that are in different groups of children, where I feel like one of those rubber chickens is where as we're moving around. I've said numerous things tonight, and I never thought, I think this is my 24th year teaching. And I said, can you find me a way with rubber chickens, and can we make sure everybody has a rubber chicken? And I said many things that I didn't think I wrote as a paper, but that's okay. So we're in our home stretch, and so this is our Wind Symphony here on stage. And the piece we're going to play is the third of the British pieces that I mentioned. Rupert is playing pieces that have some British heritage. If you were at our honor training concert last week, or 2 weeks ago, right before the break, the PMA Honors Band played Sea Songs, which was originally a part of this same group of British folk songs, just like the British Isles Suite that Symphonic Band played on stage. And so this is a work that was written for professional musicians in the band. And it's wonderful that our Wind Symphony, these students can play music like this. But it was originally meant for the professionals and military bands. And it's one of the landmark pieces that we have in the repertoire. And it started in so we're very excited to play the final movement for you today. These students had a concert less than 2 months ago, plus with all the breaks they had. And so they learned the repertoire in a very, very short amount of time. And I'm really excited to share this first piece with you because they're doing a wonderful job. Can you help me welcome to stage so somebody can go up and come back on? The Northwest High School Wind Symphony.
Thank you.
second piece for Wind Symphony is a piece called Platte River Hoedown. It's a very upbeat, exciting Western dance style piece, and we hope you enjoy it.
It used to be like a scroll, but I okay. So this is going to be the final piece that I'm conducting in this concert, and so I just want to say just a few thank yous, just take like a few seconds to all the people that made this experience so amazing. I want to thank Mr. Lavelle, Mr. Bieber, and Mr. Hickley for their hospitality and allowing me to kind of take over their band program for 7 weeks. I appreciate all the time that they've given outside of what they're usually used to spending with their band to help me to grow as a teacher. They've done so much for me, and I can't thank them enough. They seem to never run out of energy, and they're always thinking about how they can adjust what they're doing for the betterment of the students, and that's just so inspirational to me. So, I also want to thank the North Hills administration and the CMU faculty because they worked together to get me here. I didn't really do anything, so I'm very thankful for them because they made it easy for me. There's some of the CMU faculty that are here tonight. You know who you are. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I want to thank the students of all of the ensembles for their patience with me because I'm just kind of trying to figure this whole thing out, and they've been very supportive and great listeners and just so really nice to work with. And I can't thank them enough for this just unbelievable experience. It's a great example of, like, in a classroom, everybody should be learning from each other, including like the teacher learning from the students, and that couldn't be more true of what's been happening in the past few weeks. It was just unbelievable. I've probably learned more from them than they've learned from me, so I appreciate them for that. And one more, I just want to thank all of you, all the families of all of the youth students for trusting me to do my absolute best to educate them and to put forth my best effort and do everything I can to bring it for them. And that takes a lot of work from you all, and so I appreciate you so much. Can we get a shuffle for the families? Because you guys are awesome. Okay, so this final piece, we're going back to the holiday program, the holiday spirit program. Bless you. And there's not quite 20 carols in this one. There's a few less, but I really like this one. It's very exciting. The first time I heard it was probably like 4 weeks ago when I started working with them on it. So please enjoy Rejoice the Season.
We want to thank Mr. Dale for all he's done for us. He is our teacher from Frank Mills, and we've said it like 3 times this concert. But he's done a lot to share music with us, and he's actually taught me a lot about dynamics specifically. So we want to give him a card to thank him. It's really nice.
Charles, you can start going right up.
As you can see in your program, we opened with a march by Carl King. Carl King lived every boy's dream. When it was the coolest thing in the world, he literally ran away and joined the circus. Stooped, played the euphonium. What could be cooler than that? And so he wrote all of these wonderful circus marches for us. That one, each subtitle is a Persian march, and maybe you can hear the different tonalities, the minor sounds that he used in that. It's a really, really wonderful march that features our band really, really well. The next piece in your program is called Prologue and March. So you're going to hear, again, a march, but it's a very different type of march. And so Walter Hartley was a contemporary of Vincent Persichetti. For the last 2 years, we've played works by Persichetti. This is another very short version of music that uses the techniques like bitonality and polychordism that was made famous in American band music in the 50s and 60s when band music was really taking off after the piece that the Wind Symphony played, the Vaughan Williams Folk Song Suite. So this is what I've shared with the students. It's like an appetizer version of playing the Persichetti Symphony, which we did last year, and it's only 2.5 minutes long. So you hear all those sounds boiled down into 2.5 minutes. This is Walter Hartley's Prologue and March.
So thank you. So that piece was Country Gardens by Percy Granger. Percy Granger is a very traditional composer. We played many pieces of his in recent years, so you might have recognized some of the themes, or even played a different version of that piece in recent years as well. But he was an Australian-born composer who moved to America and was a very prominent composer in the early 20th century. That's debatably one of his most well-known works, if not his most well-known work. It's originally a piano piece, obviously a very light style, very unique style from maybe some of the other pieces you've heard this evening, but that was Country Gardens by Percy Granger. We'll change styles very much right now with two holiday tunes. The first one's a very heavy and very intense version of Carol of the Bells. And then we'll end with Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. So thank you again for being here. Wish you a wonderful holiday season. The Wind Ensemble will take their picture right immediately following the program, and then Wind Symphony right after that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, folks. That's a lot of music and a lot of people for an hour and 38 minutes. So thanks for being with us. We're come back, lots of concerts this week for band choir next week, and we'll see you back for Bandorama. We are going to keep taking our pictures now. So if you're in this front part, kids, we'll give you 30 seconds to clear the area. When Symphony, hits the wall back there, flutes or clarinets, take your instruments, but don't come on stage while we're taking our pictures. And have a wonderful night, folks. Drive safe.